Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Now, one thing for sure, we all know is that we need defenders in, and more defenders being linked with Arsenal today. Eric Bailly of Manchester United, he's been heavily linked with Arsenal today. Bailly, of course, moved to Manchester United in 2016 for a fee of £30 million. When he first came in, he really looked some player. You know, the Man United fans were drooling over him, saying that, this guy's the real deal. But over the last couple of seasons, he's been hit with a lot of injuries. And under Mourinho, he had a tough time of it. And it really did look like he would be moved on, he would be out the door. Still not a regular in that centre-back position for Manchester United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And Arsenal, who've been interested in him before, are reportedly interested in him again and have reportedly made an approach to his representatives to find out about his availability. Now, could they prize such a prize asset away from Manchester United? Would Manchester United be willing to sell Bailly? The reports are that Solskjaer would like to keep him. But then Manchester United, I mean, if you want to look for a team that's transfer situations in even a worse mess than ours, that's probably Man United. They've got more money to spend, but they've got so many players that seem to be surplus to requirements that they'd like to move on. And as I said, they've really not got the best out of Bailly. Could United be tempted to cash in on him? As I said, they did pay a lot of money for him initially, £30 million. He's still young, 25 years old, Eric Bailly. Would he be the answer at Arsenal? I think he's a top defender, but the injury record, of course, is worrying. But then, as I said, would United sell Bailly? Would United sell Bailly to us? That is the question. We always seem to get cast-offs from Manchester United, never seem to get real deal players. But Arsenal apparently made an approach, so who knows? William Saliba, of course, we know that Arsenal are very interested in signing him. Last week it was very hot, all the talk with Saliba, that Arsenal were almost on the verge of getting this over the line. Then it's gone very quiet again. Now we're hearing today that Tottenham Hotspurs are interested in Saliba and confident that they can get a deal done for Saliba. This has prompted Arsenal again to get back in talks with his representatives. The sticking point, of course, is the fee. It's said that St Etienne would like to get at least 28 million for William Saliba, which is a lot of money for a very inexperienced kid. But St Etienne will be really happy now that Tottenham are involved in it as well, because, of course, what that leads to is you can start a little bidding war. You can pit two teams against each other, especially when it's Arsenal and Tottenham. Each set of fans are going to be like, no, go and get him. Don't let Arsenal get him. Don't let Tottenham get him. You know what I mean? So that aids the club and that drives the price up. And we all know about our limited budget this summer. So going to be interesting to see how the William Saliba one pans out. As I said, it had seemed that Saliba was on his way to Arsenal. But at the moment, who knows whether that will happen or not. Wilfried Zaha, we spoke about yesterday. Zaha, for me, would be the ideal winger for Arsenal. Still only 26, still young, lots of Premier League experience. Has had a couple of great seasons for Crystal Palace. Speak to any Palace fan, they will tell you how good he is. Now, we had the reports yesterday that Arsenal are interested in signing him for around about £55 million. I was reading in lots of the comments, see quite a lot of Crystal Palace fans jump into the comment section yesterday saying that, listen, he's worth way more than that. Palace will want more money than that. There's been talk that Palace could want up to 80 million for Wilfried Zaha. They're never going to get that. Probably 55, 60 million would do it. But how are Arsenal going to raise that money? We all know again about this limited budget. We're fed up of hearing about this limited budget. Now, there's lots of suggestions that maybe Arsenal may be prepared to sell Henrik Mkhitaryan. By selling Mkhitaryan, they could raise the funds available and release up money for wages to pay for Wilfried Zaha. Zaha apparently on about £130,000 a week at Crystal Palace, which is a big wage bill. Lots of wages for Palace. Again, another reason why Palace may be willing to move him on. But the question is, will Arsenal be able to sell Mkhitaryan? That is the thing. Mkhitaryan, again, contract till 2021, huge wages, £200,000 a week. I note the other day that he just got married. Why would he want to move unless the team comes in and matches those wages? And the form that he showed last season, no one's going to do that. He's 30 now as well. Again, it looks like Arsenal are stuck with another player that, you know, is not an asset at the moment. He's very, very difficult to move on. So whether they be able to move him on to fund Zaha is difficult to see, but that's what a lot of publications are suggesting today. Now, Arsenal linked with another defender today, this time youngster who plays for Borussia Dortmund. His name is Dani Ceballos. He's only 20, made 15 starts for Borussia Dortmund last season. Was also playing for the French under-20 team, was being scouted heavily by Arsenal out there. Seen as a real top prospect. Another one, right, in that centre-back position. Unai Emery will know him because he was previously at PSG, Zagadou, before moving on to Borussia Dortmund, and he's made a very, very good impression at Dortmund. Whether he'll get lots of game time next season at Dortmund, as I said, he got 15 games last season, is another matter now that they've signed Mats Hummels back from Bayern Munich. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out, but Arsenal linked with him today. Also linked with the Spanish player, midfielder, Dani Ceballos. Ceballos of Real Madrid, midfielder, skillful player. Has previously been linked with Arsenal since the beginning of the transfer window. We all know that Real Madrid are going to be offloading lots of players, or looking to offload lots of players this summer. You know, they've made a couple of signings already. They're looking at the possibility of some other big signings, and in order to do that under financial fair play, they need to let a host of players go. Ceballos is said to be a bit of a favourite of the owner of the club, or shall I say the president of the club, and he would like to keep him in an ideal world, but they may be willing to sell him, want up to around about £50 million. Now again, this is another one where we seem to be going head to head with Tottenham over him, because lots of the talk is that Tottenham are in negotiations with him. Of course, they're probably going to lose Christian Eriksen this season, and they'll want a replacement for him. But we're being told that Arsenal also are making inquiries as well and are interested in, could this be another sort of bid, I don't even like to call it bidding war, like a sort of bidding where Real Madrid play each team off against each other. Could Ceballos be a player that maybe go out on loan? Because, as I said, the president does like him and doesn't really want to sell him. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him as well. Still a lot of way to go in this transfer window. And Armando Izzo, who I've spoken about several times on the show, of Torino, talked today that Arsenal, again, are looking to put in a bid of £22 million for the 27-year-old from Torino. Everton also very interested in him. Torino do not want to sell him. He had a great season last year, has made it into the Italian team. They are not keen to sell him at all, but money talks, and it looks like both Arsenal and Everton are going to be willing to test the resolve of Torino to see whether they will sell him or not. We, of course, are interested in a centre-back, hence why we get linked to practically every centre-back going. But could Izzo be heading to North London, to Arsenal? Gonna have to wait and see. Let's get into a few of your comments. And first of all, thank you to everybody yesterday in the comments and across all the videos have been saying, well done for the 1 million subscribers. Again, I thank you guys, you know what I mean? Because you're the guys that subscribed. So thank you very much. Don't forget to check out, we did put a video out yesterday with some of my, just some of my favorite videos, leading up to that million. There's so many more I could have put in there. I really apologize for people that I would have missed in those videos, but have a look at that. It's great to sort of catch up on some of those real classics. Ent1 says, why buy Zaha? I think he means Zaha. He's put Zaha there, but Zaha for 55 million when we can get Ziyech from Ajax, who has a 25 million release clause. Good point. I said before though, when I've seen Ziyech, of all the games I've seen him, he doesn't seem to be an out and out winger. He seems to be one of those sort of forward players who's playing out wide. He doesn't seem to be the type of guy who's going to take it to the byline a lot. And whereas with Zaha, he looks that out and out winger to me. But that's very interesting there from Ent1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 says Zaha will cost a minimum 60 million. Don't see how on earth Arsenal are going to sign him. Quite a few of you were saying that, including a lot of Palace fans who jumped in and say no chance. Lucas84, he says, I'm sick and tired of these links. We won't get anyone with our massive £40 million budget. We need an owner that will spend. I was having a bit of debate about this in the office yesterday with some of the guys saying that, you know what, at least Arsenal in a way have been open and said that, listen, this is I feel a bit sorry for not the owner here, because he's the one giving this limited budget, but the guys like Sanelli and that are having to deal with these transfers. And I think they did the right thing in coming out and saying, we've only got 40 million before player sales. So everybody's kind of aware of it, because in the past, under Arsene Wenger, he'd say, listen, if we see a player of top quality, we will buy him. Don't worry about that. And then we'll go a whole window and then we'll just bring in someone like Petr Cech. And at least these guys are telling us from the offset, this is all we've got. Yeah, this is what we've got before player sales. I know it's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating to me. I know we get angry about it because this is Arsenal Football Club. Look at the size of our club and that's all we've got. But in a way, I like their openness that they've come out and said, this is what we've got. We know the situation. In the past, as I said, we have never been filled in on the true situation of what's been going on. But we still want to see some decent players coming in and we still want to know why. You know, all right, I know that there's been problems over the years with some of the signings that we've made. We've ended up with a lot of deadwood. We've let a lot of players go for free. The big mistake here is the Ramsey thing for free. You think about it, if we would have had him tied down to a contract and Juventus would have had to have bought him, we would have collected at least 40, 50 million pounds for Ramsey. Now we could be sitting on a transfer budget of 90 million before player sales. Then we could be looking at the real big players. So that's the mistakes of the past that have caught up with Arsenal. There's the final one here. It says Swazi Games. Ooh. He says, I actually hate Kroenke. He's actually a piss taker. Like, do you want your club to win anything? That hate is, too strong. We don't want to be hating on anybody. But this is the frustration that's out there. We're at the moment with the owner, Stan Kroenke. I'm going to be really interested when I go to America in a couple of weeks for the pre-season tour to get the opinions of the fans over there in America on Stan Kroenke. We keep hearing that, from those representatives over here that Kroenke's a winner. He wants to win everything. He's interested. It doesn't seem that way to the ordinary fans. I'm yet to be convinced. I've heard of protests planned against him and stuff like that. I think that might be too early. I still think that we got to wait and see what happens this window. And we got to wait and see how Emery gets on in his second season. But at the moment, what this guy's saying here, as I said, I'm not down with the hate thing, but do you want the club to win anything? Be honest, Stan Kroenke. How are you going to compete with Liverpool and Manchester City if the outlay is £40 million? If you don't make radical changes, why not come out and give us, you, Stan Kroenke? I don't want to hear from representatives. Love to hear from you about your vision going forward for this club. Because with Liverpool, when they were in a mess, their owner came in and he gave a vision of how he's going to get them back on track. And listen, they just won the Champions League. And they just finished second in the Premier League. They only lost one game. And all their fans now are happy with their owners. Stan Kroenke, it's about time we heard from you. It is about time we heard from you. Listen, thanks for watching the show today. We will be back tomorrow with another Transfer Daily. It's time for signings. Please